you need some wide receiver help to help you win the championship in Week 16, here's a few guys on waivers that can help you win and be a difference. The first guy is Russell Gage of the Atlanta Falcons. Gage, he's been on the list now the last 2 weeks is Gage. And Gage, he hasn't disappointed. Another good game in Week 15 Gage had on 10 targets, 5 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. And if Julio Jones is out again, he's got a matchup versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 16. And, in that game, they're going to have to throw a lot. They're going to be down probably in Atlanta early and often in that one. And that one's in Arrowhead, so it's going to be a tough game. So if Julio's out, Russell Gage is worth the ad because now the last 2 weeks, he's put up big fantasy numbers. Within Week 14, he had 39 passing yards with a passing touchdown, added with 5 catches for 82 yards. And then this week versus Tampa, like I said, he had a good ball game, 5 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown on 10 targets. So Russell Gage, he's available in 75% of fantasy leagues, and he's worth the ad, especially if Julio's going to be out, which I think he will. Atlanta's playing for nothing. They might as well shut him down the last 2 games of the season. The next wide receiver to add on waivers is Keke Coutee of the Houston Texans. Coutee, he's been solid now since we saw Will Fuller get suspended for the season. And Coutee yesterday, another good game at Indianapolis. 5 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown with a fumble loss. And Coutee, he's still available somehow in tons of leagues at 59%. And the last 3 weeks he's putting in work is Coutee. In Week 13 versus Indy, 8 catches, 141 yards. And then at Chicago in Week 14 in a tough matchup, 3 catches, 24 yards, and a touchdown and a fumble loss. In Week 16, he's got a great matchup versus the Cincinnati Bengals that they can't stop anybody on defense. I think Coutee can have another good game and be a factor in helping you winning a championship or in a third-place matchup. The next wide receiver you could add on waivers this week, Zach Pascal of the Indianapolis Colts. Pascal, he had a coming-out party yesterday in a good ball game versus Houston with 5 catches, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But Pascal, owners have been down this path with him where he's had a huge breakout game and then he disappears for weeks at a time. He's available in 95% of leagues. Phillip Rivers, he's spreading that football all around, but it seems like in this Indianapolis passing game, every week it's someone different who has the big game. Last week it was Hilton. A few weeks ago it was Michael Pittman Jr. And like we saw yesterday, it was Pascal again. So Pascal, I'm not that high on him, but the guy had a breakout game and he's worth looking at to add for your playoff and Week 16 matchup. The fourth wide receiver you could add on waivers, Jacobi Meyers of the New England Patriots. Meyers, he's had a couple down weeks after some breakout weeks early in the season, but he had a great ball game yesterday versus a tough Dolphin defense with 7 catches, 111 yards, and a fumble loss. He's the best receiver there. Julian Edelman, he most likely won't come back for the last 2 games of the season. So Myers, he'll be the number 1 receiver. Cam and him have a good rapport, and they've been connecting most of the season now. And he's available in a great amount of leagues. At 69% is Jacobi Meyers. So he's worth an ad, and he's a guy you should get. And the 5th and final receiver I would add on waivers this week is Tyron Johnson of the Los Angeles Chargers. Johnson had a good ball game. Keenan Allen, he was limited, and owners who started him, like me, had to pay the price, but luckily I overcame it. Allen had a horrible game, and Johnson got most of the snaps and plays, and he had a great game. 3 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown versus Vegas. So if Allen's limited or not active this week, which he might not be, Chargers are out of it anyway. He's got a good matchup versus the Denver Broncos, is Johnson, where I think he could put up similar numbers. And over the last 2 weeks, he's shown it. In Week 14 also, he had a good game with 6 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. So that's a few wide receivers I would add on waivers here heading into Week 16.